This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Don't be afraid to take the baby steps. It's another day, don't forget, 'cause just a prayer away. Don't give up now, trust the process and keep learning. And if you need a friend, we're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. Together as a family in faith and melody.
Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to the final Monday episode for 2025. So we're very excited for you to be joining us on this last Monday episode of Faith and Melody. And for those who are first-time viewers of the show, this is INC Radio's Faith and Melody that you're tuned into right now, the program where we have meaningful conversations and listen to inspiring Iglesia ni Cristo original music. I will be one of your hosts for today. This is Jay here in Australia, but also joining me today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Henry. I'm here in Germany, and I'm looking forward to having you join our conversation. So we're about to enter 2026. We're about to step into a new year, and many of us, we start thinking of goals, New Year's resolutions, very common. But it's also a very healthy thing because what we want to improve or achieve or change is to progress in something, one aspect of our life. Success often looks like progress in health, career, or finances. So today we're reminded that our greatest resolve should always be our faith. So join us as we talk about striving for success in life while remaining faithful, committed, and focused on the promise God has prepared for us. So to get our show started, we'll listen to the first song on our playlist. We'll be listening to Brave. So stay tuned with us on Faith and Melody.
I'm only good at a few things, a failure in many ways. Looking in the mirror, realize I need to make a change. People talk about me, they might even look at me strange, but I'm determined to make it. I pray the Lord will make me brave. Humbled by His mercy, what in me is worthy to save? He rescues me from danger, holds my hand so I don't go astray. Need to live my life right, never put a minute to waste, and I won't step down. I will take my duty to my grave.
Like a loser, I know I'm a sinner. But you turn my life around so I can be a winner. I am convinced there's no fight that I can't win. I will emerge victorious. You make me a champion. Now I'm brave. No more being afraid. I won't be left behind. I can go on my way. No more being afraid. I won't be left behind. I can go on my way.
Heading straight toward my goal, racing to the finish line. I know what awaits me there, salvation and eternal life. I can't lose my way now. Pay attention to the signs, the world is getting darker. All the more I gotta shine. Holding tightly to my faith, enemies try to ruin mine. I can only pray they will find the way to the truth in time. We will succeed with the help of God, who is true and kind. My sword and my shield and my life are His words divine.
I'm a sinner, but you turn my life around so I can be a winner. I am so far that I can will emerge victorious. You made
afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Jay and Henry here on INC Radio's Faith and Melody, where it is currently 12:07, I believe, 12:07 a.m. over there in our main studio in the Philippines. So, to everyone that's tuned in all the way in the Philippines, happy midnight to each one of you. Thank you to everyone that is tuned in all over the world, no matter where you're tuning from. Hopefully, you are enjoying your day, your night, your evening, your afternoon. And it is, like we said earlier, this is the last, the final Monday show of Faith and Melody for 2025, because in a couple of days, we'll be welcoming 2026. So we're very excited for that and for you to be joining us at this time of year. Later in the show, we're talking about what it truly means to grow, not just as individuals, but as people striving to live a life that honors our Almighty God and leads us towards His promises. So that and more on today's topic, our greatest resolve. But before we dive into our discussion, let's first begin with our kickoff chat.
Kickoff chat.
So it's time for New Year's resolutions. We do this every year, but we want it to be a little different this time around because we all say we want to lose weight. We all say we want to try to drink or eat something less that probably we shouldn't, but we wanted to take it to another level. Try to be creative. Try to maybe, if you want to say take more risks, not risk in the sense of what you're going to lose, but what you're going to gain. Try something that might be harder than you probably never thought before. So our question we're asking for our kickoff chat is, aside from health or career aspirations, set a new goal for 2026 that you have never made before. So it has to be something new. You can't say, I'm going to lose weight, which is a great goal anyway. Losing weight is awesome, but put that on the side as something you always try to do. So make a new goal. Make a new aspiration for yourself that I'm going to get we can't do career, so you can't say I'm going to get promoted. You can't say I'm going to get straight A's. You can keep that goal, but the whole purpose of this kickoff chat is try something you've never done before, because we want to be able to leap into uncharted territory that will make you a better person in different ways. So, Jay, why don't you be the first one to lead us as to what is a type of goal that you've never set for yourself before that goes beyond losing weight or trying to get promoted or trying to get a better job?
Something beyond that. Okay, so I have to think about this for a little bit. So while I'm doing that, let me first say hello. We've got a couple of greetings already there in our live chat for some of our Ohana, our family that's always tuning in with us here on Faith and Melody, but also everyone else that's tuned in there. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Say hello, drop a comment down in our live chat right now, and we'll read it out during the show. But first, we've got, of course, Mario Oka saying happy watching there in the Philippines. Greetings from the locale of Brixtonville, district of Caloocan North. So thank you so much. He's always here on the show, always listening in, always tuned in. Brother Jared Rombo is also there in our chat, saying, hello, happy watching Faith and Melody from District of Northern Africa. I believe it's like, and is it like a late evening or late afternoon? Late afternoon, I think, there in Africa. I'm not sure. From the local congregation of Awasi. So thank you to Brother Jared Rombo. I know that he's one of our more recent new viewers that's been tuning in with us. So we really appreciate the support, but also hopefully that all the insights that you share with us. Kuya Johan is there saying Guten Morgen po from Texas. Oh, he's in Texas. So I know we usually see him over there in Germany, but he's currently in Texas right now. So if you are traveling, because it is that time when we are able to give a little bit more time to share with our loved ones, our family, and to visit them. Stay safe, right? Stay safe and take care of yourselves wherever you might be, whichever part of the world. And of course, just enjoy the moments that we're able to share with our loved ones. Lani is also tuning in with us, saying happy Monday or happy Tuesday, Faith and Melody Ohana. It's funny, right? So we love all these greetings that we're receiving. But it is like it's Monday for most of us that's tuned in live right now. But for other parts of the world, it's already Tuesday. It's already December 30. For me, it's December 30 right now, and I've got another like day to go, and it's already going to be 2026. Henry, you're still in December 29, right?
Yes.
So yeah, there you go. So and also we've got Rachel Inocencio, also there tuned in, right, Henry, in our live chat, saying greetings to all our viewers tonight from the district of Central Europe, locale of Heidelberg. So thank you so much for the support that we're getting from all over the world. So in our kickoff chat, what was that question again, Henry? Aside from a health or career aspiration for the new year, of 2026, right? Because I know we always have those goals. What's a new goal? A new goal that you've never set for 2026, that you've never made before. They're all asking everyone. So if you're thinking about one right now, one for me. Okay, I have to think about this a little bit. A new goal that I've never set before that I'd like to set in 2026 is actually to. I'm not much of an outdoor person. I'm gonna do a little bit of a light one here. I'm not much of an outdoor person. It's like the outdoors and me don't really connect well. Like insects always try to bite me, and I'm not a fan of that. But basically, I think I want to do more like outdoor activities, right? Because the thing with that is our daughter just loves going outside, right? She would communicate to us in some shape or form that she wants to go for a drive or go somewhere, get out of the house. And but my wife and I were mostly indoor people, but she loves to go outdoors. So I think, especially right now, we're in the warmer few months that's coming up here in Australia. Outdoor activities, I think, is not a goal that I've ever set, but I think it's important, to get outside, get outdoors, and get active in that way. I think more memories, more activities outdoors is a goal that I'd like to set for 2026. Whether that's like, I don't want to say camping because I'm not much of a camper, but I know that our daughter loves being outside. So we really got to try a little bit better to do that and do it more often. Uh, I know it's a simple one, it's a light one, but I'm sure we'll get into more deeper goals in the discussion that we'll have. What about you, Henry? What can you share with us?
So let me just say in response to your goal, I find it great because you have a why, and we're gonna talk about that more in a conversation later about the why of your goals. Why do you do your goals? And you're including your daughter in your goals, so that's great. It's awesome to incorporate your family as to part of the reasons of why you would try to be more outdoors. For me, there's an instrument right behind me. I do it intentionally. In Hawaii, we say ukulele. That instrument there, I would like to pick that up often, more often, and actually play songs. So my goal is in relation to music and melody, and to be able to strum that ukulele and sing a song. I can play chords, but I can't play on a consistent strumming pattern and not able to sing with that. So if I had a goal for 2026 is to be able to play that instrument better. Now, what does that do for me? So just to kind of set the tone for our conversation later tonight, is basically learning an instrument is hard. It takes practice. It takes patience. It takes dedication. It takes consistency. We are never going to pick up an instrument and just become instantly good at it. And so I find it a goal and a challenge for myself to find time to have the patience to sit down and play the ukulele. Now, the why for me is that outside of this office that I'm in, my daughter plays the piano, plays the keyboard. So if we can make some music together, that would be great. And it's something that in my family we've never really done. We sing like most Filipinos do, but for playing actual instruments, we've always been more outdoorsy. Actually, part of Jay's goal. We go outdoors a lot. We play a lot of outdoor sports, and so we do a lot of hiking, walking, going to the beach when we were growing up. And at this time, for my daughter who is very musically inclined, I want to learn how to play the ukulele and play the instrument with her. I can play the drums with her, and I'm still learning the drums. So that's like you want to call it a side quest goal for me, is to be able to continue my mastery of the drums. But that ukulele, I really want to be able to play more because I'm from Hawaii and I'm not bringing that culture here. So I feel a little guilty that I haven't really passed on that aloha charm of the ukulele to the people around me. So Now that's what I'd like to do. I want to be able to share more of my Hawaiian culture. Uh, Ate Des is asking me to do a sample, but that's where I don't want to do that sample yet because I want to be able to do that sample when I'm a lot better. So uh, maybe one of
Well,
these days.
you could do a sample like right now, and then you can do another sample in a year's time. This time next year, and then we can like compare compare the two
Well, you know
videos.
what? Let's. I have to demonstrate risk taking, right? So let's take the risk right now. I will play in the note G. So that's the some
Oh,
of the chorus.
I couldn't hear it.
Oh, it doesn't go
I
through.
think
Okay,
it's not coming through.
we have to adjust that. We'll figure that part out. Yeah. So I was playing the note G. I know some of the chords, and there are songs I can play, but I probably shouldn't play it here. But yeah. So we'll figure out a way, hopefully soon, to be able to broadcast that over these airwaves. I'm looking at a comment from my wife right now, Jay. If you don't mind reading that.
Oh yeah, Rachel, there in our chat says, "I want to learn to bake my own bread for my family and to share with friends." So is that something that she's done already, Henry? Since you would know.
Well, so she recently got a bread maker, and so when she
Oh,
bakes a lot of goods, she bakes a lot of ube mochi. If you know what mochi is, uh,
yes. I love both of those those things. Ube and mochi separately, but together. That's cool.
exactly. So being able to bake all of her goods, her banana bread, that's one of her easy specialties, and brownies. But we have a bread maker, so she has to learn the whole dough making process and let the yeast rise, and then that's something she's looking forward to do. So that's one of her things that she wants to learn is to basically be uh start off as a novice bread maker, become average, become better, and hey, she may be selling those bread as a hobby, turn into a business. So we'll see how that goes. I see another comment from Jared Rambo, if you don't mind reading that.
So brother Jared Rambo there in our chat says a new goal for 2026 is to learn a new language, Tagalog po, and reading one book per month. I love that because I tried. It's an ongoing goal for me to learn a new language. Japanese is one that I'm kind of keen to learn, so that I don't have to read subtitles when I'm watching my shows. But since we do visit Japan a lot, it's nice to be able to communicate a bit better. But learning a new language, I love that because that really gets you outside your comfort zone, right? And also reading one book per month. That's a great goal to have. I think that's something that everyone should do is always, no matter, especially if you're out of school already, like reading one book per month really helps to keep your brain and your thinking cap alive and learn new skills. We've got our executive producer there, Henry, in our chat. There's Asena saying yesterday on CEU program, Kuya Henry was the cook, which is CEU is the Central Europe, INCRadio Central Europe
Right.
program. Kuya Henry was the cook. You want to share with us what you cooked in your program
All right.
yesterday?
So last night we have our weekly Sunday broadcast, Central Europe Connections, where we get to showcase some of the different. We have different types of episodes. One is Castles to Cities, but we've been more fond of the food segments, which we call Culture Bites. And we had a live cooking demonstration from my kitchen, with a brother who is from Switzerland. He drove a few hours to our place, and he showed us how to make a dish called uh, Spätzle. It's spelled SPA umlaut ZTLE, Spätzle, and that's like almost like a easy to make hash brown. There's with the base ingredients. So we fried it live on the show, and we had a great dessert. I think the highlight was the dessert because it was an Angus beef steak that came with it that we
Wait.
also
The
cooked.
Angus beef steak was the dessert?
I mean, it's a little joke, but it was the focus of the meal was the German cuisine, which was that hash brown type of dish, and then we wanted to kind of tease our viewers with the Angus beef steak that we also fried live. So that was fun. It was fun to be a cook on Central Europe Connection. So I'm gonna take this time because Ate Des did mention it. CEU Connections every Sunday at 7 o'clock Central European Time. I believe that is, if I do my math, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time from any viewers in the West Coast United States, where we just connect to other aspects or other parts of Central Europe, Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland, but we've also go across the ocean into Japan and even into Hawaii. So one day we may contact Australia and we might do a broadcast over on your side. So who knows? But no, that's another goal, right? A goal is my goal. Actually, I'm gonna say it right here. Another goal for me is to be able to connect to more districts over outside of Central Europe, because CEU Connections is all about connecting up to other areas within Central Europe, but even beyond. So I brought two goals. Let's see. So we have as we set these goals and as we go deeper into our conversation today, we're gonna be able to speak about remembering what our greatest resolve is. We can set all the goals that we have. This is the time where we set New Year's resolutions. This is the time where we want to improve ourselves, but we also want to ask the question, why do we set these goals? So our kickoff chat pretty much wraps up what we're going to be talking about for today, and that concludes today's kickoff chat.
Kickoff chat.
So before we get into the juicy part of our conversation today on our topic, we're going to take a quick musical break. The next two INC original music that we'll be listening to is Unstoppable, and the second song is titled Wait for the Fulfillment of God's Promises. Now, this is in the language of Mandarin. So we hope you enjoy these two songs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these.
Forward to make more history. Let's see more than a century. Evidently, this is heaven sent, God given energy. We're never getting tired. The bar we raise it high. We're not just trying to get by. More properties we buy, more countries we reach, more converts baptized in the race that we're running. Man, it seems that we fly. In God we trust, on Him we rely. Always giving us strength, the faith, the light, the love, the hope, the life that we need. All His miracles we see for the INC. His goodness and power can be seen in our victories.
With God's help, we're striving. With God's love, we're shining. All the blessings God gives, all the blessings He receives, will only help to further our victory.
With God's help, we become unstoppable. With God's help, everything is possible. All of the accomplishments are remarkable. Others can't hate, but they still can't stop it though. We move forward, never ever stumble. With God blessing us, we still stay humble. And through the struggle and all of the trouble, our work we redouble, and look at what it's come to. We're global now, we're not done yet. Working before the sunrise and way past the sunset. From where the sun rises to where the sun sets, always putting in work, that's what His Son said. We're going farther than the seas and beyond our limits, because God is on our side. We will never be finished. Our hands keep on working and we still stay winning. Made it to 100, that's just the beginning.
With God's camp, we're thriving. With God's help, we're rising. All God's teachings He bestows, all His teachings will oppose. We march on and on for the victory. Thousands of brethren who are studying His teaching. Millions of fellow men who are learning His teaching. Yeah. Through the worship building, standing tall. This is all evidence that He won't let us fall. The Church of Christ continues to grow with God's great name made truly known. More than 100 years of God's countless blessings, never been made possible. More than 100 years of His love never ending. Through the good and the bad, we remain victorious. We return all the praises to a God so glorious.
来将会放弃了吗？仰望天空，并证让我们的希望，如有湖泊风又来，都永远记住，请有拯救我们的那一位。我们曾经面对生活的考验，我们并不孤单，我们被引导。我们不需要害怕神的神爱我们，他就在那里，他会为我们开道路。我们不要灰心，持住并且神来，信赖上帝和他的儿子，始终有照，灰心将团结一致，耐心等待，耐心的忍耐，为我们所期待的那一天，今天我们别放手，把希望的再有给我们的恩典上帝，等待我们会收到的赏赐。我们曾历面对生活的考验，我们并不孤单，我们被引导。我们不需要害怕神的神爱我们，他就在那里，他会为我们开道路，一切的眼泪都会被擦去，我们将得到上帝的承诺。一切都是有原因的，不要担心，我们不会被抛弃。如果我们顺服了只有能神来，我们将领比谁来他，我们不要忘记感谢，因为他在看过我们。记住那些习惯，让我们因为自己无法起来，让我们还曾准备上帝在生活的每一方面，关于家庭和爱情或友谊，上帝是我们的帮助者，他永远不会离开我们，不要偏离他，无论我们去哪里都要忠诚，不要失去我们的生命，因为我们救恩的彼此奇迹。我们曾历面对生活的考验，我们并不孤单，我们被引导。我们不需要害怕神的神爱我们，他就在那里，他会为我们开道路。我们曾历面对生活的考验，我们并不孤单，我们被引导。我们不需要害怕神的神爱我们，他就在那里，他会为我们开道路。我们曾历面对生活的考验，我们并不孤单，我们被引导。我们不需要害怕神的神爱我们，他就在那里，他就在那里，他会为我们开道路。
So now is the time for New Year's resolutions. We've often set the same ones from years past. We set goals to help us improve ourselves in one way or another. And throughout this year, we've actually had many broadcasts focusing on goals and how to reach them. Short-term goals, long-term goals, goals for our careers, goals for our family, even goals for our faith. And we often also talk about how we respond to whether we fail or whether we succeed. So the question we're going to ask now is, why do you think we should always set goals for ourselves, even if we failed so many times before? Now, we're gonna try to avoid talking about I'm gonna lose weight next year, which is always the most important goal, I think, to take care of yourself. But that should be a goal that goes without saying, right? Because we always want to be a better, healthier version of ourselves. But if you have other goals that you set for yourself, for your career, for your loved ones, learning an instrument, learning something new, trying to achieve something, you may have failed in the past. You may have actually, let's say, you put on some weight, or you never had the time to learn the instrument. Things happen, right? But you should still set that goal. It's important to continue to try your best in the upcoming year to be a better version of ourselves. And that's the question that we're asking. And Jay will be the first one to answer that question. Why do you think we should always set goals for ourselves, even if we failed many times before, Jay?
Sorry, you just made me laugh when you said, sometimes people put on weight, and it's also this time of year when you end up putting a bit more weight because you're eating more food with your family and
That's
loved
true,
ones.
right?
That's why
That's the time where you start eating more.
exactly, and I think it's in line with that, right? It's like, when did failure ever mean stop, right? Failure to me, I've learned, is that it's just a result. It's an outcome, right? You do something and then an outcome happens, like something happens. And sometimes that what happens is what we've labeled as failure, right? But really, it's just a result of, you've taken this step, this step, this step, this step, and then this happened, right? It's an experience. It teaches us lessons. It teaches us a way to grow. It should give us the ability to be able to reflect on the steps that we've taken and the result that happened. So I think that, to stop you from making those mistakes again, failures, as we call it, or things where it didn't work out, basically gives us that better understanding, right? We can understand ourselves better, that if I did this, this, and this is what's going to happen, right? Because they always say, I've heard this phrase. I'm sure you've heard something like, if you do the same thing over and over and over again, and you're expecting a different result, that's pretty close to insanity, right? So you want to be able to use those moments that we call failures as an opportunity to learn and to reflect, so that you can adjust something. You can tweak your process in some way to try and approach it in a different angle. So like, it's the same thing with losing weight, like I was trying to get at earlier, is that, you try to eat healthy, but then you make a mistake, and then you learn from it. You learn from, okay, if I eat this much, I know tomorrow I should eat a little bit less, or I shouldn't eat a full cake tomorrow, or something like that, right? Like, you can learn from the things that you experience in life. So failures, as we call it, they're learning opportunities, they're experiences that they help you grow, right? To become better and to reach your goals, or to be able to achieve something different, so that you know that if you change something in your process, if you change something in your habits, right, then something's going to change. And the thing is, you have that in your control, right? That's not something that's outside your control. You can make adjustments and changes to your habits, to your routine, to your schedule, to what you prioritize, right? That's within your control. You can make that choice. And that's the great thing about it, right? And you can learn from your failures because you are able to make changes. Yeah. So what can you share with that regarding that, Henry?
So we always need direction. And I think just because you move towards a direction and you fail momentarily, it's not a dead end. It doesn't mean to just stop there and don't continue. You keep going. Sometimes you have to uh, force yourself in a better in a new method, a new way of getting to that direction. But setting a goal gives you direction. It gives you a place to look forward to look ahead to, somewhere, a target that you want to achieve for yourself, a target of where you want to even physically try to get there. We need a place to go. Staying still does not breed progress. Staying still really, you're staying still. You're not going anywhere, right? Um, and so we need direction. Goals gives us directions, and if we fail, like you said, we learn, we get stronger, we get wiser. We get smarter. We think of different ways. Uh, we learn this in school, the scientific method, right? The scientific method is okay, you have a problem and you try to formulate a hypothesis, and then you try to the experiment to see if that will work to get you to your hypothesis being true or false or a new lesson to be learned. You analyze what's going on, and then you make a conclusion, which leads to a new question or problem to try to solve. So as you do uh, this process, you're learning. You're learning something new, and every time you fail, failure is just a label. Failure is just a result
Yes.
of something that is not success immediately, but you get closer and closer to it. And so the more you experiment and the more you try to test out different methods to get to your destination, what you're intending to do, then you'll potentially even invent your own version of success in your own way. And so even if you fail many times, I didn't lose weight this year. If you stop that goal, it's not going to be healthy for you. I mean, you want to keep trying that every year, even if you failed many times before. You're going to keep finding a way to be better, a better version of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually. You'll find a way to just push yourselves uh, beyond motivation, more into discipline and changing your aspects of your life to uh, find a way to succeed. For some people, it's going outdoors. Some people can only succeed in their physical fitness goals by going outside. Um, for me, I can't work out inside my house. I need to get out of my house because when I'm inside of my house, it's too enclosed for me. I need nature. I need fresh oxygen. I need to go outside. So, and that's where I find what motivates me, and that takes experimentation. That takes learning yourself over time to just be able to get to know who you are more and finding a better way to succeed with what you've learned through the different failures that you have. I see we have some comments to answer our first question, Jay.
We do, we do. So we've got Rachel in Essentia there in our chat saying goals help keep you motivated, focused, and helps you to build resilience and discipline. And she also adds, you also learn time management, and failure gives a chance to improve and a lesson to be learned. So those are great, great ideals to when you're talking about goals and setting goals, but also when you experience challenges or failures. I like what you said earlier, Henry, as well about, you need something to focus on, right? When you set goals because you need a direction or something to focus on to work towards, right? So that's kind of like why you need to set them. But you also want to not be setting the same goals over and over and do the same steps over and over. You want to tweak it, you want to change, you want to use what you've learned through those failures as experiences to become better or to try a different approach, right? There's so many ways to get to your destination. And I just like that GPS analogy, right? If you're trying to get to a place and you take the wrong turn, either on purpose or you take a wrong turn because there's obstacles in the way, the GPS will always be recalculating. It'll be recalculating to get you to your destination. The thing that's important is you don't stop the car and just turn off the car and switch off and like just, I just want to go home, right? You have to keep on going. You need to keep on taking. You need to be resilient when you're working towards your goals. Brother Jared Rombo there says setting goals provides direction, focus, and motivation, acting as a roadmap to guide my effort towards meaningful achievements. And we've got a few greetings there as well. We've got a greeting from I think it's from Corpse, from Happy Viewing from Lokal, po mula sa lokal ng El Aguilar Distrito ng Rizal. That's there. And we've got everyone saying advance Happy New Year there in our chat. So loving that. So there you go. That's from our Ohana there in chat, Henry.
And so, we are making these goals and trying to reach the direction, a constant target for us to try to reach. And now we're going to actually go a little deeper. Is that you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to improve. Well, we need to kind of remember why, to ask ourselves why. Why are you trying to get there? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to ultimately do? So the second question we're going to ask, next question we're going to ask is, Describe the ideal version of yourself that you are working so hard to become. And what is your reason to succeed? What is your motivation to succeed? So when you set a goal, it's usually about becoming a better version of yourself. What you currently are versus what you hope to achieve, they're essentially both you, but one is a better you. So we're asking, why do
Mm.
you want to be that version of yourself, that better version of yourself? What's your motivation of wanting to be that goal? What is the why? Why do you want to achieve that target or goal? So for those who are with us today in our chat, this is a deep question. What is the reason that you want to reach these goals? Is it for your family? Is it for yourself? What aspect of yourself is important, or improving yourself is important, so that maybe others around you will benefit from it? Like what or how or why, especially why do you want to reach that goal? Jay, I know it's a deep question, and I know it
It
requires a
is.
little bit of introspection and analysis of yourself. What is your why, if I can ask you that?
Oh, okay. So, like you said, it is a deep question, and we'll try and extend this little part so that we can have our Ohana have a bit more time to write it out. To also think about it, right? It's kind of like it's kind of hard to just say, "Oh, okay, you got 5 minutes to think about your why and your ideal version of yourself." But if I were to think about kind of the ideal version that I've been working towards, and really, it's just it's still that what I'm working towards, but just leveling up for the next year, right? And I would like to see myself, and I'm really thinking internally here. I'd like to see myself to be really more present, right? I think you can never be, um, you can't be more present. Right? I don't have to word it, but basically being more present even more with my family, with my loved ones. And I think to achieve that, right, you need to be able to set your priorities straight and remove distractions. And for me, it's also just being able to create something so that we don't have to worry about, I guess, finances is always is a goal that people have as well. Right. So I think the ideal version that I see myself is that I'm able to spend time with my family, especially with my daughter. Like one thing that I've learned growing, basically through the experiences of growing through having a daughter that's got a disability, it's got autism, basically means that being more present as a parent is even more so important for those who have challenges with communication, with their social interactions, social cues, what we consider as normal, right? Like those type of things requires even more presence from the support system for an individual that has challenges, right? So I would love to be there for more of that. But at the same time, I know growing up, one of the things that ideally that I saw myself when before I became a dad, before I became a father, is basically that I would love to have more memories with my family that I'm going to have. So I think that that's one of those goals that I'm been trying to improve on and create year on year is the amount of memories that we create, right? Because I hear people's stories, I see people getting older, right? We know people, and it's one of the things that ideally that I would like is to be able to at the end of it all, like not have any regrets that I didn't do what I wanted or I didn't spend the time with the people that I wanted, right? It's not all about work. I think I've gotten over that in my life, like thinking that, oh, it's all about your career and building this great big, like that's important, right? Like the work and what we do, the career that we have. But I think life isn't about that. Like there is even more meaning and fulfillment when you are able to think back on all the good memories that you have with the loved ones, with the people that's important in your life. So I think I'm working towards that to have more time to do that, to be able to have the ability to be able to do those things because I want to be present. I want to be there, not just for my friends, but also to my family, to my daughter, to my loved ones. They're really my why, right? They're the reason why I do what I do. Why we do what we do is that we are all together in sharing memories and moments, but also most importantly, that we're all together in serving our Almighty God. For somebody with a disability, for our daughter, it's hard for her to grasp, certain abstract concepts and things like that. That's made challenging for her to understand and to comprehend. But I think what's most important that we're working towards is that we're there together, right? We join her together whenever she attends the CWS, the Children's Worship Service. We're there when she attends activities, and I think that's the best thing as a parent that you can do is that you are present, you are seeing them, and you're not distracted, right? Because I don't want to be that parent that's like you're there with your child at some event or at some occasion, but you're distracted with the messages and the notifications popping up on your phone. Just recently, we had like our family reunion that we haven't seen each other in person for quite a long time, and it was one of the best memories that I've had from there that I can remember was the memories because we were just present. I barely touched my phone, if I remember correctly, during that whole the past week. We were all together. Barely touched my phone, and I loved it because I was present there with my nephews, present there for my daughter. Got to really connect and catch up and not be distracted with other things. So I think being present and being there for your loved ones and creating those memories and being able to have the ability, right, the resources to be able to create the memories that you want is what I'm trying to work on because I just want to be there for my family. And as the head of the household, that's what we do, right? You got to be the one that provides and takes care of the people that you care for. But that's my one. That's what I'm working towards, and just leveling that up. I think each year is very, very important for me. How about you, Henry?
So I'm gonna answer the question in a different way, in the sense of when I look at my children, they're really shy, and so shy that they barely make eye contact with the adults, unfortunately. And I'm training them my best. But I also realized that's who I used to be. I was a very shy person, uh, not speaking so much to adults, but I able to speak to other children my age. And I can even say I was shy all the way through high school, through college, even after college. I'm I want to say I don't want to say I'm introverted, but I might be introverted. But there's just a lot of things that I would say I would use the word afraid. I was scared of a lot of different things and scared to reach too high sometimes. Um,
Hmm.
and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's performing my duties, but I've learned maybe through some snippets on social media of what fear is. Fear is a concept that really limits you. So I ask myself, why am I afraid? Why am I afraid to speak up? Why am I afraid to initiate the conversation with someone I don't know? Why am I afraid to take a promotion? Why am I afraid to for more responsibility? Why am I afraid to sacrifice? What is there to lose in doing any of this? And so more recently, in the past couple of years or so, I've been striving to be a person less afraid and more wanting to go outside of my comfort zone. So being on stage, speaking over this platform, 5 years ago, I probably would not imagine myself to be who I am right now. And the ideal version of myself I'm working so hard to become is someone who's not afraid to reach a goal that I never intended or even imagined myself to reach. I never imagined myself to be here speaking on a platform that can literally reach millions of people around the world. It takes, I think it takes courage. I think it takes also a lot of practice. Uh, but why wouldn't I do it? Why am I afraid to do it? So when you stop to think about it, the version of myself is someone who uh, was stuck within a concept of fear. What really was I afraid of? Right now, I'm not afraid to speak on this platform. I actually have fun. I really enjoy it. I'm inspired to continue to do it, and I'll continue to do it in 2026. And so the ideal version of myself is I don't want to be afraid of things because I know I have God on my side. And that's my motivation to succeed, is because I have nothing to fear. There's nothing stopping me but myself. And whatever doubt I had in myself, you might be able to doubt your own capabilities, but you don't doubt our Almighty God when He's by your side. If He's with you, you have all the confidence and courage that you need to be able to reach any goal you want to set for yourself. And I think that's part of my why is uh, to show that to my children, my family, that there's nothing to be afraid of. Really, there is nothing to be afraid of because we are members of the Church of Christ and we have our Almighty God on our sides. And that's the version of myself to not be afraid of anything. And so there are a lot of goals that for me I've achieved personally, and maybe some of our viewers they've achieved things throughout the year. If you'd be willing to share some of the goals that you've achieved this year, in our last week of Faith and Melody, we'll be talking a lot about the reflection of the year. So if there's something you want to share, I know we're asking other questions, but if you want to share a goal that you've achieved in 2025, feel free to drop it in chat. Let us see, let us share your goals that you want to share and celebrate. We'll celebrate with you the goals that you've achieved. For me, I got a new job, a job that does not hinder me in the performance of my duties, a job that keeps me here in Germany. I'm really so thankful for that because I thought I was about to lose my livelihood. And there are applications that I sent that I tried to go back to Hawaii. It never worked out that way. Actually, the job offers only stayed here in Germany. So I think there was a answer to my prayers and even a direction that I never intended to go, but it's keeping me here. But it is a goal that I had to be able to sustain the livelihood of my family and to stay here, or to stay to remain that provider for my family. And if we have to stay here, then we'll continue our duties here. So that's the goal that I achieved, and that leads us to our next question. After we complete a goal, what's the first thing that you do? What do you immediately do next? Because yes, we want to achieve something. We become a better version of ourselves first by achieving one or two goals. But what's the first thing that we should do once we achieve a goal? I think me and Jay will agree on this that the very first thing we do once we achieve a goal is we thank God, right, Jay?
Yes, definitely. Totally like one of the things that we remember is that we're not able to accomplish anything without God's help, right? I mean, even going through the challenges and even getting the success that we have, it all came from God. Like that's how what we've learned. That's what our values, that's our belief, is that the ability that we have, the capabilities that we have, comes from our Almighty God. So we thank Him most importantly, first and foremost, for any accomplishments that we are able to have. But then after that as well, a little celebration is nice, right, Henry? Like when you especially if it's a big goal, uh, you celebrate in some way. I just thinking that if your goal was to lose weight, and then you hit your goal, so you celebrate by eating food. It's like, but basically, you celebrate you because you're thankful, right, for the goal that you have, and even if you don't reach your goal, you've accomplished something, right? Like if you take the time to reflect while you were working towards that goal, like did you really not accomplish anything? Which I would say 100% of the time would be a negative. Like you would have accomplished, you would have changed something, you would have become a better person, you would have developed something, you would have grown in some way. If your goal was to be healthier, you would have, if you took action, like you may not have reached maybe like the weight number that you were going for, but you would have become healthier if you were taking action, right? So I think consistency is really a goal to be celebrated and to actually be implemented, is to remain consistent, whatever it is that you're working towards. Consistency, just doing that, you should celebrate that, right? Oh, okay, how many times, how many days this past year did I actually work on my goals? Celebrate that, right? Even though you didn't reach it yet, you're not there yet, you would have changed, you would have developed, you would have improved, you would have grown. Like if there was a scale that you could put down your growth in, or your status on reaching that goal, it shouldn't have stayed at the 0%, at the low end. You would have grown over time. So immediately for me, when after thanking God for the goal that I was able to achieve, or the outcome, celebrating a little bit, right? Especially with your loved ones, we celebrate the goals. We love that, and then reflecting on the goals and what's next, right? What's the next step or the progression to work towards the next thing? Because goals is basically a stepping stone to the next one. That's how I've seen goals, and that's what I guess growing up is that your goal is to lead you to the next step, right? You don't just get there and then you stop. Um, so I think for me, one of the goals that I'm working towards is that there's always the next step forward, right? Move forward to the next best direction, and you need God's guidance for that, especially if you're not sure what your next steps will be. But as long as you keep on moving, you keep on working towards something, there's always an area to improve, to grow. Like I thought at one point that my faith was as strongest as it can be, but then you go through enough challenges and trials, and you realize that there's always a next level. There's always a level up that you can work on when it comes to your relationships, your faith, your spiritual strength, your connections, all of those things, your ability to communicate, your health, right? There's always another level that you can tweak and add on. And I think as long as you're becoming at least 1% better, uh, it means you're getting better, right? It doesn't have to. You don't want to mentally hinder yourself by thinking I have to improve 100% again, right? And I have to improve another 100% after I do that, and because all you think about is the work. When you start thinking about that, all you think about is, oh, how much work do I have to put in again so that I can 100% again, right? I think that if you are able to improve 1% or a tiny amount each day or each moment that you're working towards it, it's already growth. It's already improvement because you're working towards something. So that's what I do. I celebrate. I thank God. I reflect and I just figure out how can I improve that little bit more better. Like what area can I work on when I want to work on my goals. What do you do, Henry?
So always first, I thank God, and we actually have activities wherein we celebrate as a group together, all the youth in the church. When we had these activities where we all graduated at some point, some level of our career, some level of our schooling, we celebrate together. And then, just to fast forward a little bit from that, in my career, I became a network engineer, which was my career goal was to be a network engineer. And so I went to work daily, for 1 or 2 years. I'm a network engineer. I reached my goal. But there's still someone better than me. And someone who knows more than I do, someone who designs, someone who architects. That basically gives me more headspace to try to reach even higher. Does it? It doesn't necessarily mean I have to take his job because there are, as you move up a career ladder, you do lose increased responsibility, maybe a different schedule. And for me, I'm very cautious on my schedule too, especially when it comes to be able to perform my duties. But ultimately, what that means is that there is room to grow, room to improve, room to learn so much more that you thought you were going to be an engineer, enough. There's a lot more above that, and that you can actually progress in your career even more. To be the manager, to be the boss, to be the leader, you're someone who has more responsibility and a lot of oversight over things that not everyone sees. So there are always going to be areas of improvement and to grow. So the next thing to do once I complete a goal, how can I get better? There's still areas to improve on. There's still methods and ways to get to the next step of my career. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at the same place. It can be at a different place. It could be, for me, learning a new technology. Maybe not even being part of that same field. Maybe I could be a teacher of that technology, someone who trains, someone who conducts training briefs. It's just, there's no way to stand still when you reach a goal. You want to go to the next mountain, and you want to conquer the next target, the next destination. You want to get there. You want to keep moving, because as you're doing all of that, we'll talk about that more in our broadcast. Whatever goal you're trying to reach, you're always asking God to be there with you. You're asking for His approval. You're asking for His blessing to get to that goal. As long as it doesn't hinder you from serving Him, doesn't go against His will, you're able to perform your duties. You want God to be there. So not only are you thanking God, you're asking for Him to continue to be with you as you live your day-to-day life. And so No, we'll go deeper. This was just the first part of our conversation. I think I see a comment from Brother Jared. Jay, if you don't mind reading that comment.
Sorry,
There you go.
we've got brother. There you go. Brother Jared Rombo says here in our chat, my ideal version is to desire to overcome challenges, achieve personal best, gaining skills, and making a positive impact with self improvement, finding personal fulfillment through progress, Paul. So I love that goal. I love that goal that and what he wrote there. You know, that's definitely one of those great things to aim for. And it's really showing growth, right? It's showing ways that you're always constantly improving and you're working on something, right? And not being held back by thinking about, oh, how much work do I have to put in? Like, don't think about that. Just think about what's the next step. Like, what's one step that I can do to work towards that goal, right? Because we don't set a goal for just one thing, right? We have goals for different areas of life. What's the one step, one thing that you can work on and that you can do today, right? You don't have to think about the whole thing. Just do one step. And I think that will help you with that. But I love what Brother Jared Rumble shared there as well. A few hellos as well. Kuya Johan says, he says here, you only fail if you quit. Keep going, right? So I love that because consistency is really what's going to get you far, right? It's what's important so that you can develop the habits to keep on going. So don't stop, basically. Keep going. And he also, but Jared Rumble also shares here, after completing a goal, first giving thanks to Almighty God, celebrating, reflecting on the journey, and finally resting and planning my next move, right? So again, just kind of like what we've been sharing, plan your next move. Like, don't forget to thank our Almighty God, reflect on that journey because you have changed and you should celebrate the changes and the growth that you went through. And then what's your next step? Hello to Mila, there in our chat. Hashtag Andorra GWS. Happy viewing po mga kapatid. And we got Joel Soriano also there saying, hello everyone viewing from the locale of Collingwood District of Edmonton, Canada. So thank you to everyone that's been sharing their insights. We've got more to talk about in our upcoming discussion. Before that, let's take a quick break. The next two songs that we'll be listening to on today's show is titled I'll Remember You. This is the rock version, and Stay Strong. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Of your great love, you were patient to train me to be strong and wise. You were full of compassion and understanding, but never compromising what was good and right. Always teaching me, never letting me out of your sight. Something greater than myself. I won't give up, for I'll remember you. tries to take everything away. I have lost a lot of things, but it's okay. Floods are raging waters, try the best to get in my way, but there's just no stopping me when I have my faith. Looking forward to tomorrow with the strength that I still have. God will never give me something I can't handle. I will stay strong, I will hold on. No matter how rough it gets, I'll walk on. Won't lose hope along the way. I may fall down, but I won't lose my faith. I'll keep getting up to finish this race. I've been yearning for salvation. I'll stay strong inside His nation. I'll keep my eyes fixed on the glorious prize. Face a trial with a smile, 'cause I know He's with me every mile. Each test an opportunity to prove my faith. I don't feel sad, as a matter of fact I'm glad. I feel happy and I don't feel bad. Ever stronger I will be, as long as He's with me. All the tests are unavoidable, but I know that nothing's impossible. As long as God's with me, I can win each battle. I will stay strong, I will hold on. No matter how rough it gets, I'll walk on. Won't lose hope along the way. I may fall down, but I won't lose my faith. I'll keep getting up to finish this race. I've been yearning for salvation. I'll stay strong inside His nation. I'll keep my eyes fixed on the glorious prize. Let's stay strong, let's all hold on. No matter how rough it gets, carry on. Help each other along the way. Soldier on as you patiently wait. Never let go, let's prove our faith. All of us, we yearn for salvation. All of us, we have one goal. Let's keep our eyes fixed on the glorious prize.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Spend the last week of this year with thoughtful conversations on faith and melody. Tuesday, our greatest resolve. Wednesday, Gracious 365. Thursday, Triumphant 2025. Tune into INCRadio YouTube channel, Tuesday to Friday, 12 a.m. Philippines, 8 a.m. Pacific. Share your thoughts, expand your connections, and become part of the Faith and Melody Ohana.
So, setting goals, they're important, right? Like we've all just talked about the importance of our focus and the goals that we set, especially for the new year that's about to come around the corner. And also our why, our reason why we set our goals and the purpose and meaning towards the goals that we've set. So, in this part of our conversation, we want to ask, we know that we've set goals for our health. We've got goals for our career, what we're working towards in our future. So, aside from health and career, what types of goals would you suggest we set so we can improve ourselves? I mean, this is different ways that we can set goals that can improve ourselves. So, apart from health, because we know that's important, everyone, don't remove that goals for your health. Or for your career, keep those. But apart from your health goals or career goals, what other goals do you think we should set to, or you could suggest for us that we can improve ourselves? So from our Ohana there in live chat, we'd love to hear your thoughts on what goals you think can help improve a person. But you got myself and Henry here. So let me just, I guess I'll start for this one. So one thing that I've realized is that it's important to set goals. And when it comes to that, you have to remember that if you can measure it, if you are able to put an ability to measure the goal that you're setting for yourself, you can control it. So one of the goals that I like to set is take a look back. Reflection is important, especially this time of year. We've all had our moment to reflect on the past 12 months, right? And kind of realize what are the routine that you've been working on, what are the habits that you have formed this year, what have you been doing, right? When something happens, when something difficult comes along, like what's the general reaction that you do or the response that you do? What habits do you have when you go by about your day and going to work, right? Maybe a goal that I would suggest, because like something that I was trying for me is to realize and take a note of what my current habits are. Like in the morning, what's your routine? What do you do when challenges comes up? How do you prioritize your work? What is important to you when you need to set your priorities? Like what have you been putting first, right? And I think a great goal would be break your habits, because not all habits are good, right? Not all habits serve you. And the thing is with the habits, they get formed because it's something that you do over and over and becomes a consistent thing. And it always becomes your default setting, right? When something comes up, you always fall back to your habits. When something stressful appears in your life, you always fall back onto your habits because you rely on that, because that's easy, right? It's easy for you to do that. So I think one way is that you realize what those habits are and you break them to form new ones, better ones that are going to help and improve you. So whether that's with your communication, one for me is that one of the habits that I've been breaking and forming better ones over the past, I would say like about 3-4 years now, is my ability to communicate my emotions and my thoughts more clearly, right? I've always been the type growing up where I kept everything to myself. I didn't really share my thoughts or share kind of like what I'm feeling in the moment. You would ask me a question, it's a lot of single word answers, right? Or a lot of things that you have to decrypt, right? Because you don't know what I'm trying to say. So one of those things that I improved over and over for the past about 3 or 4 years is that I've been able to share my thoughts and actually understand myself a lot better because of that. To my wife, to my loved ones, like to really put into words what I'm feeling in the moment, what I'm thinking, and to get their thoughts on it, right? To be able to really work together with your loved ones. So that would be with Jem that I've been working, been able to share more of what I'm feeling and what I'm sharing to sharing it to her. So I think that's been very, very important in developing our relationship to become closer, to become stronger. And, that's important when it comes to working with your life partner. But how about from you, Henry? Like, what goals would you suggest that you can share for us to help improve
I
us?
just want to reiterate what you said is that it is important to maintain the goals for your health. So yes, keep the goal to lose weight. Keep the goal to go to the gym more often. Keep the goal to eat less rice and less uh, sweet snacks that you probably eat on a daily basis. Maybe you shouldn't eat. Maybe you'll cut that in half. Aim for that.
Oh,
It's a good goal to have. You want to keep doing that. Aim
yes.
for higher, better stature in your career. Keep doing that. But let's try to be more creative and even more ambitious in our goals. Right? We don't want to just stay on health and career improvement. What about personal development? For me, I've made it known throughout this year is I wanted to be a better public speaker. So I found methods and means and ways to improve that. Watching myself, rewatching myself, and seeing little errors that I could improve on, practicing. Because our voices are instruments in itself. And uh, if you try to find goals, or if you know who you are, know your weaknesses, why not make it a goal to improve on your weaknesses? Let's say patience is a weakness that you have. If you're driving and someone on the we have the autobahn here in Germany, or if you're driving on the freeway and someone uh they change lanes and they're a little too close to you, and we say the term cut you off. Maybe it's by accident. Uh, Examine your patience. Examine how you feel at that moment. How angry you are, if you are angry, if you're that type of person, you know, see if you can try to improve in your patience next year. See if you can control and restrain yourself in those situations. Or let's say you have a situation of a conversation misunderstanding with someone. Examine yourself in that moment. How upset are you? Are you really upset? Maybe you need to learn to be more understanding, right? So that's another skill, another element of yourself that maybe, no, I need to be more understanding. Maybe that person is just having a bad day. Maybe there was a tragic event in that person's life. Maybe that person found out something horrible that morning and they are trying to deal with their emotions. And maybe they even have a goal for themselves to try to figure out their own situation. So there's another goal that you could set to be more empathetic, to try to feel what others are feeling. So there's so many areas of improvement that we can set for ourselves that don't always have to exist within just your health and career. Yes, you always want to improve in those aspects of your life. What about even setting goals to cook? My wife in chat, Rachel Inocencio, she's constantly looking for new recipes to do. And in our time here in Germany, both her and I have become a lot better cooks in terms of things on the stove and things in the oven. There are a lot of recipes that even though our kids are very picky in what they eat, they're starting to eat what we cook for them because we made it a goal for ourselves to increase the number of dishes that we can make. And you know what? We're able to control their diet in a sense of giving them the banana bread with just enough sugar, with more bananas, or I'm cooking more meats that my daughters will enjoy. There's just so many things that go beyond health and career, losing weight and trying to get better grades or trying to get a promotion. Let's be creative and ambitious in the goals that we set for the coming year. Set a goal that you've never done before because you're improving not only yourself, but others in your family. You're all benefiting together. You're all working together to be a collective improvement household that you're all sharing in the benefits of being a better you. And when your children watch you to be a better you, they see you change. They see you smile more. They see you improve more. They see you learn an instrument. They want to pick up an instrument and you can make music together. It's fun when you all have goals together. You're all trying to reach and you all try to help and improve each other. I'm sitting downstairs. I hear the piano, the keyboard. My daughter's playing different types of songs, and she's the type of person who learns songs just by listening to it. Yeah, there are some who read notes, which is probably a very great way, probably the greatest way. But there are also those who just learn music by just listening to it and try to copy it. And so, for me, I'm actually trying to be that. I'm too technical sometimes. I want to be able to play music just by hearing it. So I'm working on that aspect. Like I said earlier, my goal is to learn to play that ukulele behind me and sing at the same time. And what does that teach me? It teaches patience. It teaches consistency. It teaches a person how to make music and be able to
Mm.
play in a band and to play amongst other people. So when we improve ourselves, you actually allow more people into your circle. And when your circle produces harmonious music, then you need a singer and someone will sing along with you. And those are the fun things, right? When you have a circle of people who are playing an instrument, called a jam session. You make music together, you bond more, you connect more. And not only are you improving yourself in that moment, you're improving a group of people at that point in time who will smile and forget about things, what's going on, the problems in their life, and you're just making melody. You're making great music, producing a great sound. And I think these are the types of goals that we should try to reach, right? A better version of ourselves and a collective better of your group of friends. But now we can even take it to another level, Jay. I think we can go to even spiritual goals.
No, exactly. I mean, like we've got all those other goals that you mentioned that, to help ourselves to become better, personal development, right? All of those things are truly important as we're growing up and we're working with each other. But one of the things that we want to talk about as well is like spiritual goals. That's the next step. That's another level. That's shouldn't be shouldn't be forgotten about, right? Setting goals for your spiritual, for your spiritual health, your spiritual well-being. So, what do you think? What can you share with us, especially for our viewers there? What are share some spiritual goals that you will strive that you've got planned, right, to achieve in this coming year of 2026? What are some of those spiritual goals? Let us know there in our chat. Feel free to share. But Henry, for yourself, since you're already on a roll with what you're talking about personal development, what's some of your spiritual goals that you can share with us?
So I guess a goal for myself is to continue to use my voice in the coming year. I'm also in the choir, and so whether it be during the worship services as a choir member, otherwise here on this platform for INC Radio, is to continue to use my voice to affect the lives of others for the better. And like I said, I'm a shy person. I was born a shy child, and you probably wouldn't be able to have a long conversation with me in my 10-year-old version of myself, 15-year-old version, even 20-year-old version. I just didn't know how to get out of my shell. I mean, I find it liberating to be able to speak now and to just take the initiative to say hello to people and say, hey, welcome to Germany, welcome to Hawaii, wherever I may be. No, what brings you here? How can we help? It's a nice feeling to be able to help people to realize where they're at, to get to know them and let them speak so that they can hear for themselves how they want to be a better person, how they want to improve, what they're trying to accomplish. We're all trying to do something. And the moment you start to have these conversations with people and you let them answer out loud so that they can hear their answer for themselves and start to recalculate their own personal GPS, it puts everyone into a perspective of, okay, maybe I need to change that. Maybe I need to be better in this area. Maybe I need to let's change it completely. Let's do a 180. Let's do something else. Let's find another let's find another path. 'Cause maybe that's not something I really want to do. Well, sometimes when you say things out loud, you want to do a career. Like, do I really want to do that? Yeah, that doesn't sound interesting to me anymore. Because sometimes you say things so much that it starts to like, oh no, I think I want to do this instead. And and that's what it does when you have these conversations. When you start to speak out loud, you start to realize I could do more. I have the ability to hold more, to handle more. I can sacrifice more. And so for me, I would love to continue what I'm doing now in the upcoming year. It might sound like an easy way out to make a spiritual goal, but I think there's a term out there that they say it is harder to maintain an A plus than it is to get an A plus, something to that effect. Basically, if you get an A for the first time, it's great, but to maintain that A throughout the entire quarter, semester, a year, that grade, it's hard to maintain that. So I'm setting that spiritual goal is to continue to keep going on through 2026 through Faith and Melody, through Central Europe connections, to be able to use my voice in whether it be here in this platform or in the worship service to be able to stay as a choir member and to continue to uh, affect the lives of others for the better. How about you, Jay?
I like that because I think it's one of those areas that you can always grow, like especially for those who are listening. You know, duties are duties in the in our worship services or duties at church. It's a very great way for us to develop and strengthen our spiritual goals, right? Our spiritual faith is to work on your duties. So for me, it's I'm a CWS teacher, so that's for those who don't know, that's the children's worship service teacher. But also being a host here on Faith and Melody, they all require certain skills, right, Henry? Right? There's and most of those skills, even for those two, is communication, being able to speak. So I think that's a goal that always ties in with your duties. It's always it works better if you're able to use your goals for your services to our Almighty God, right? So when it comes to communication and being able to explain what you want to say in a simplified way, it's nice to be able to do that so that not everyone understands at the same level. One thing that I've learned having a daughter that has challenges when it comes to comprehending things is that you need to keep things simple. So I think being able to enunciate, or not enunciate, but being able to explain your thoughts and in a simple manner is very, very important. We can do that here on Faith and Melody on INCRadio. You can do that when I'm performing duties as a syllabus teacher, and just constantly working towards trying to be better, right? So I think that's one of those areas for me, is to improve, even like take it to the next level, take it to the next step. There's so many resources now, like we all know that there's resources that we can get online, on our phones. It's so readily available on YouTube, even to improve whatever skills that you want to aim for. For me, that would be speaking and being able to be a better communicator. So that ties in with my spiritual goal because it able helps me to perform my duties in the next level, like in a higher manner, right? So that's fun for me. I'm sure there's many others as well for those that are listening. Actually, I read a couple there from our chat. I see that Zenaida is joined us and sharing one of her goals. She said earlier here, for goals for me this coming year was to commit to a digital detox for a set period to reduce screen time and improve focus. So a great goal because again, one of the things that I mentioned earlier was being more present. And what is the thing that fights being more present with your loved ones is distractions. And our biggest distraction right now is our mobile phones because we're even more connected, but it's even more distracting to stay connected, right? So I like that. Digital detox. I do that quite frequently. Practice mindfulness as well, she says. Zenaida says, meditation or mindfulness daily to support mental well being and self awareness. And another one that you shared here for the spiritual goals, Zenaida says, spiritual goals will be more active in performing my duties and accept a new office and continue to lead my family to the active services to our Almighty God. So, for those of us as well, like taking up a new duty, taking up a new office, definitely a great goal because it brings us closer to God, but it's also a spiritual goal that makes us stronger in our faith when we're fulfilling it. So, taking up a new duty, accepting new offices, definitely a great goal there from Zenaida. Uh, Jared Rombo also shares here, aside from health and career, other goals for me is financial goals, saving for a down payment uh, by a down payment by date po. So definitely something to invest in your future. That's a great goal to have. And he also shares a spiritual goal, which is to achieve in the coming year to focus and to be responsible in my duties and obligation in the Church of Christ Pope. So again, just leveling up in our services to our Almighty God. Yeah. So again, thank you to those thoughts and insights that everyone has been sharing. But what else that we want to talk about as well is that when we're working towards goals, there's always not there's always going to be challenges, right? So whether there's success or there's failure, challenges come. There's always an outcome to our goals. So, what do we want to ask next, Henry?
So the next question that we want to ask is basically whether we succeed or we fail in our goals. Why do you think setting goals helps us to become a better version of ourselves? Now, throughout our conversation already, we've talked about the different goals that we can set for ourselves, and we're gonna say, okay, keep your goal to lose weight, keep your goal to progress in your career, uh, but also think of goals that will make you a better version of yourself. Try again in 2027. If it doesn't work in 2026, keep going. But why do you think we should keep going? Why should we continue to set goals to help us become a better version of ourselves? I mean, we kind of hinted upon it earlier, but that we have a target, we keep aiming, we may have to recalculate. We need
Mm-hmm.
a direction that we need to go. But now we're touching upon, because what's happening here is we also need to remember our greatest resolve, right? What is our greatest resolve? Our greatest resolve is that no matter what we set for ourselves, that we are still within the grace of our Almighty God to continue to bless us, to make us worthy to receive salvation. We should always be focused on our biggest goal, is that we are still here while we set other goals. Our goal is to serve God. And so we cannot fail that goal. We need to keep that goal always. But and so the other goals that we have for ourselves in this life while we're still here is we're gonna fail sometimes. We won't always succeed. We're gonna have difficulties. You're gonna see others fail alongside you. And you're gonna talk about it amongst yourselves, and you're gonna say, oh, I tried so hard to be this kind of student. I tried so hard for this career. I tried to learn this language, but I just can't learn German. That's for me. I'm trying to learn German. Um, does that mean I'll stop? I'm still here. I still need to touch upon learning another language, even learning Tagalog. I mean, that's something that I'm practicing to be more proficient on. But does that mean I'll stop? No, definitely. I need to keep going. I need to uh, keep going until I succeed. And succeed is not necessarily a marker or a finish line. It's the goal of constant improvement. So whether we succeed or we fail, Jay, I'll ask you, why do you think setting goals helps us to become a better version of ourselves?
I think goals, I mean, especially for me, the goals that I've set, it gives you focus, it gives you something to aim for, right? I think that's what a goal is. Right? I think the bare definition of goals is it's something that you're aiming for. Whenever I think of the word goal, I think of like a soccer field. Is it soccer or football? Whatever it is. But basically, you're going towards one place, one direction, right? Sometimes by yourself or sometimes as a team, but you're always trying to reach a destination. So I think it's that. It gives you something to aim for, to work towards, and to figure out what the steps are to get there. But whether you succeed, whether you fail, no matter what the outcome is, you get experience, right? You get experience points whenever you're working towards your goals. You don't get any experience if you don't have any goals that you're working on, and you're not working towards anything. So really, if you want to grow, and as Church of Christ members, one of the things that we're taught is the importance that we are always growing, not only for ourselves, but growing in our faith, growing in our services, growing in our duties, right? In our relationship with our Almighty God. That doesn't just stay one level, right? It needs to grow, it needs to become more mature and more stronger as the time goes on. And that only happens through experience. So we set goals to become a better version because we're trying to aim for a better version, right? I feel like goals should never be achievable because as long as you're working towards something better than what you are right now, the journey to get you to where you're trying to get to is going to change you to become a better version anyway, right? You don't have to think about how do I become a better version. Just aim for something, and as you're working towards it, it's just natural for you to become better, right? If your goal is to be a better public speaker, to be able to communicate better, right, and you're just trying to figure that out and you're working on it, like you may not reach it yet, but the journey of you trying to get there is going to already make you a better speaker and a better communicator, right? Than you are a month ago, a year ago, whatever it might be. So it's not about the goal that you've set or trying to reach the goals, but it's about the action that you take to get there and the person that you'll become trying to reach your goals. If you have no goals to reach, right, Henry? How are you changing? How are you develop? How are you becoming better if you have no goals that you're working towards? Because if you're not working towards anything, well, what reason is there for you to be improving? So for you to improve, for you to become better in some way, for you to get better friends, to have a better community, a better support, whatever it is, better relationships, right? You need to be working towards something. And you may not get there yet, but if you're working towards something, you're becoming better. So I think that's what's important, right? Like we go through school and some people might just stop learning as soon as they graduate, but there's always learning opportunities everywhere. So if you want to have better value, if you want to be able to be more important, especially to be able to support the people that you care for, that you love, and to have stronger bonds, relationships, connections. Uh, I think consistency on action is very important, right? Just believing that things will work out is not enough. You need to be able to take action, right? Take action, do the work, put in the effort, just do something, right? And as long as you're working towards a goal, you're throwing at that direction, I don't think you'll fail. As long as you're going towards the kind of like in the vicinity of the direction that you want to get to, you're never gonna fail as long as you're taking action. So that's my thoughts. How about you?
So I in IT, in the field of IT, I'm usually with a team of people, and we're always asking each other, "What certification are you working on?" There are those amongst our field who, they shoot for the stars and they go for the hardest certifications, and they pass. They get the certification. They can transition to a better spot in their career. No, that's amazing. That's great. They can they can have less worry in terms of an ever evolving career field. They can move on to other fields. There is a slight danger for IT specialists who are not studying for a certification. Not do you need certifications? Not necessarily. You don't necessarily need them. But when you study certifications, you're able to increase in a skill, and you don't need the cert to increase in the skill, but it gives you a target. It helps you to become a better IT professional. And so when you take that certification exam and let's say you fail, you spent 30 hours, 40 hours, 100 hours practicing your IT skills and your certification curriculum to become more intelligent and more aware of the technology so that you can practice that in the actual job that you're trying to reach. So when you're reaching for something, you're gaining skills, you're learning new experiences, you're learning new tools and technology. And so it's always a an improvement, a journey of improvement as you try to reach a higher level. And so whether you fail or succeed, you're going to be better. You're going to have maybe not the victory that you're looking for, but the new certificate saying that you passed the exam. And I can tell you, I failed a lot of exams. It's not a good feeling, but I learned a lot through all of these self labs that I made for myself at home, these virtual labs. And I can share that I was able to build a home network, a virtual network that allows communication from point A to point B. And I've learned cybersecurity. I've learned this and that. And so, whether you succeed or fail, let's say your goal was to bear fruit this year as a member of the Church of Christ, basically meaning to allow someone to join the church. But you know what happened throughout the whole year? You shared your faith. You shared your faith often. You shared your faith weekly. You're able to demonstrate you're proud of your faith. You are happy, a proud member of the Church of Christ. So it's a great feeling to know that even if you're not able to achieve what you're trying to achieve, if it's in alignment with God's teachings, you're relying on God regardless. That whatever goal you're trying to reach, you're praying for success. You're praying for His approval. You're praying that He's always there to guide you and to teach you and to protect you from the other dangerous aspects of this world. As you reach for it, you're keeping God in mind that He's the only one who can grant you success. We can't rely on what our own capabilities are, but we always reach out to our Almighty God through prayer, asking Him to be there for us, and even more so in the coming year. So, uh, I think we can go to our next question: is that how do you think we can achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves, despite the hardships and challenges that are to come? 2025 went by so quickly. So if anyone had goals that they had tried to achieve, you have 3 days left to achieve them. But today's the 29th here in my time zone. 29, 30, 31, and then Happy New Year. 3 days left to lose whatever pounds you want to, or 3 days left to pass another assignment before, if you're in school, for those who are still in school. You have 3 days left. See how far you can get. But we have a new year coming up, and we're going to experience more challenges again. We're going to find more obstacles. We're going to find more unexpected things that unfortunately are just going to happen. We can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. We definitely don't know what's coming in the coming year. But how do you think, Jay, that we can achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves with all the challenges that are coming?
Before I answer that, I just want to quickly read a couple of the comments here from Zenaida. She says, setting goals act as our life's map, guiding you to what truly matters and enabling intentional self improvement. Alicia Bartholomew, there as well, setting goals helps me to stay motivated and inspired, even if not everything goes to plan. I know that God always knows what's best for me. And Jared Rombo says, helps us become better since goals offer a long term vision while fueling short term action, preventing aimless wandering and boosting overall well being and productivity. And I love those responses, especially with what you just asked on how we can achieve our goals despite hardships and challenges. When you realize that when you're working towards something important, anything that is important, anything that is worth it, anything that's valuable in life doesn't come easy, right? If it just came so easily for you without you putting much effort in, you probably won't think it's a reward, right? Anything that's worth it in life, family, loved ones, your partner in life, whatever it is, your duties, right? It takes effort. So I think when you realize that there's hardships and challenges that comes towards the goals or the things that you want to improve in your life and you work towards it, all you need is that our Almighty God guide you. I think for you to achieve anything or even work towards your goals, you entrust everything to our Almighty God through prayer. Because we know, and I know from experience as well, you try to set a goal, but sometimes it may not be what God has planned for you. So that's why you need to entrust everything. Because if you're fighting against God's plan, that's probably why it's not working out, right? You need to be able to entrust everything to our Almighty God because He has the best plans for us and He knows what's best for us. And so, whatever it is that we want to accomplish in life, whatever future that we envision for ourselves, first and foremost, trust everything to our Almighty God. Let Him know what we've set for ourselves, but then lean back on Him, right? Trust Him that He'll be able to guide you to what is the right place for you to be. Like for me, initially, I thought that there was a time in my life where I thought I was supposed to leave Australia and maybe go visit and see what my future will be like over there in Canada, but it wasn't God's plan. And He intervened, right? And me pouring myself more into my church duty, I was able to find Jem. I was able to find the love of my life, right? Who I'm married to now. And, we're not in Sydney anymore, but then that was all God's plan as well. We're here in Melbourne and we're really, really blessed, right? With everything that He has given us. None of this was something that I planned, but it's something that I entrusted God, like my future and everything else, and to give me the direction, the guidance, the right people to kind of lead you to where you need to be. So just know that as long as you're working towards something, challenges will come, things will change, right? Things have to be recalculated. Maybe you have to go through a little detour, but whatever it is, as long as you have God on your side, in your in by your driving your vehicle, right, driving you to where you need to be, and you trust Him, everything will work out for the best, right? Challenges and hardships will come, but if He's there by your side, you don't have to worry about it. How about you, Henry? What can you share with us?
Yeah, so our goals may shift direction and change, but trusting in God's mercy is what's the most important. Whatever goal you set for yourself, and you're constantly having a devotional prayer to God, hoping to achieve that goal, whatever the result is, of course we want success. Nobody wants to fail in that goal, but you're gonna keep on praying to God for His guidance, and maybe His guidance is not what you're praying for. It's in a direction that you never intended or thought that you'd be going to. And so just remember that the process of relying on God, that is part of our greatest resolve, is that we're striving to be closer to Him. You're striving to increase in your faith. Every year you're getting 1% better. But what about your faith? Is that also getting 1% better? We should try to analyze our own spiritual well-being, not just our physical health. Yes, super important. What about your spiritual health? Now that should be the one that should be improving every year, every opportunity you get. That incorporate prayer more so, and the more time you dedicate with, especially your family, teaching my children how to pray, and listening to the evolution of their prayer. They ask for more things. We teach them when they're young to, pray to bless our parents, bless us in school. And they start to ask for things you never thought that they'd ask for. Uh, it's interesting when they pray for things that, oh, they know that God provides this, God provides that. And they know to ask God to give us this opportunity. It's funny because my daughter was saying in our prayer, please help us move to Japan, or please help us move to Korea, or please help us. We didn't pray for Germany, but we got here. We're here in Germany. And that's the direction that we were directed to, recalculated, if you want to say, because that's what brought us closer to God. By coming here, being able to help out in this district as much as we can, I think God's direction is the most important direction. And at this time, I would just want to say that as long as you face 2026 with constantly relying on God, you'll be successful no matter what the outcome of what you're asking for is. Success or failure in your goal, relying on God is part of our greatest resolve. So while we strive for optimal health, a stable career, and acquiring the needs and wants of our family, our main focus and our greatest resolve should always be to remain worthy of receiving God's blessings and His promised salvation, because He desires for His chosen ones to receive His blessings as long as we remain faithful and loyal to Him. So we should be committed to redoubling our efforts to fulfill His teachings, constantly renewing our lives. Therefore, let's strive for a bright future in 2026 that is centered around relying on what He has planned for us. Jay, what do we have next?
Yes, so again, thank you to everyone. And but before we read out our verse of the week, I just want to quickly read these last two comments from our Ohana that's been so active in our chat today. Zenaida shared with us, just keep the faith that God will keep us the right goals no matter what. And Jared Rumbo says, despite hardships and challenges, one should cultivate resilience, adaptability, and growth mindset by breaking goals into small steps, focusing on effort over outcome. Alicia Bartholomew is there, and Grace is also saying, Guten Abend po to everyone, advance Happy New Year. And we do enjoy your company. Thank you for joining us today. But before we wrap everything up, we've got our verse of the week to take us into the new year as well. So our verse of the week is titled Relying on God. So let's all listen to this.
We have to admit that life can become overwhelming for some because of the challenges and problems that we face and how frequently we have to go through those problems. And then we still need to deal with what's going on around us, the chaos, calamities, and injustices in this world. And sometimes all of that can feel too much for many to bear all at once. While many people may feel like losing all hope in life, what should we remember so that our anxieties and worries will not overwhelm any of us too? I'm Brother Marlon Balason, and this is what we'll find out in our verse of the week, here in Isaiah chapter 54 and the verses 10. Even if the mountains and hills shake and collapse, I will not stop faithfully loving you. And I will not cancel my covenant to cause things to go well for you. That is what I, Yahweh, who acts mercifully, say. Whenever we feel weighed down by the worries of this life, what should we always keep in mind? Remember what God said. Even if the mountains and hills shake and collapse, He will not stop faithfully loving us. So even though there may be moments when we struggle or fail, should we lose hope? No. Instead, who should we rely on? Let's rely on God and trust in His promise that He will cause things to go well for us. And to our friends, we also want you to benefit from God's promises. We invite you to join us in our Bible studies and worship services here in the Church of Christ. Take the time to study God's words and learn how you can also experience God's faithful love and blessings in your life. We hope you found value in the words of God we read together here today, and we hope you continue to tune in to our verse of the week. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay faithful. God bless.
Thank you to Brother Marlon for that inspiring message. Definitely something that we can use to take not only for this week ahead, but also in the new year that's about to come. And we hope you've enjoyed today's conversation. We've enjoyed your company and your thoughts that you've shared with us. But also, since the new year is just around the corner, right, Henry? We've got a special, we want to invite everyone, especially if you're tuning right now, to the New Year Countdown special, which will be happening tomorrow. So this time tomorrow, we start actually at 11:15 Philippine Standard Time. So about 45 minutes before the normal start of Faith and Melody. So make sure you tune in with us here on INC Radio. We've got that special New Year Countdown. Gonna welcome the new year and with all the excitement and go all over the world. And hopefully we can see all the New Year celebrations and all of that. So make sure you tune in with that, right? But with that, again, I want to say thank you to everyone that's been sharing their thoughts and insights. Henry, any final words, any final shout outs, greetings? Last one for the year and until next year.
Yes, so I always begin my shout outs to my wife who was just on the other side of this wall. Shout out to my wife who's always, every broadcast I'm in, my wife is always tuning in. And she's always there, whether she be cooking something or she's on the dining table with my children. Special shout out to my wife for all of her support throughout this year, especially with INC Radio. Uh, Thank you to my wife, Rachel Inocencio. The stranger, I always call her a stranger, but she's definitely not my stranger. She's my stranger. I'll put it that way. She's my stranger. Um, Shout out to my Central Europe family, Sister Grace Engelhardt, who is there from Central Europe. Shout out to Alicia. Let me see if I say this in German correctly. Meine jüngere Schwester, basically German adding the way to say that. And shout out to Kuya John, who's, even though he left Germany, he's in Texas now. He's still tuning in. He's still putting hashtag Heidelberg. So I love that part. So shout out to all those who are always supporting our broadcast on every Monday, and we hope to see you in the coming year for 2026. Please continue to stay with us and always tune in to both, not just Central Europe connections, but especially Faith and Melody. Back to you, Jay.
Thank you, Henry. And again, for me, just thank you to my wife as well, who continually supports me, but also the program, and also to our daughter Lena, and to everyone, our Ohana, our live viewers there that consistently support the show, but also share their thoughts and insights in our discussions. You know, you wouldn't make discussions what it is without you joining us. So we love that you're always here and always tuned in, but also sharing your thoughts with us. And again, make sure you tune into the New Year Countdown special tomorrow. Starts tomorrow at 11:15 Philippine time. So about 45 minutes before the regular start of Faith and Melody. And with that, I just want to say thank you again to each and every one of you, especially your support for this year. We're very excited on the new year to come. Stay safe, everyone. Make sure that you no matter what your celebration involves for welcoming the new year, make sure you just take care and be safe and just enjoy the moment, be present with your loved ones. And we'll see you in the new year. Again, this is Jay here in Australia.
And I'm Henry here in Germany, and we've been your hosts for today. We hope today's episode has given you a positive start to your week ahead. To close off our Monday show, our last Monday show, we're listening to Place Your Trust in God. Continue to join us for the rest of the week on the next episode of Faith and Melody. Early Happy New Year to all of you.
Early Happy New Year. Take care.
When life is heavy and too hard to take, never forget to pray and patiently wait. Walk on the right path in every step you make, for the race we're running is almost over. Guard our hearts and shield them with our faith.
We thank God because He showed us the light. Despite the problems and hardships that came to our lives, from now on we promise to fully obey. From the teachings of the church we will never turn away, by submitting to the leader whom we dearly love, staying true to our Lord God up above. We will never turn away from this calling that we have.
Calling that we have, serving in faith, love and hope, we will always abound. Don't give up now, just keep up the pace. We should go the way and run in a race. So on the right path, and we should always be ready, rejoicing in all sufferings, for God is almighty. So don't give up, never give in. Pray in silence and place your trust in Him. Wait for His response to your plea. Oh, faithfully obey His way. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't let your faith be ruined. Faith and work should be coupled with efforts that are redoubled.
With the rest of the Lord, we should always unite. Give glory to our God and His Son, Jesus Christ.
Just keep up the pace. We should go the way.
We should always unite.
So walk on the right path, and we should always be ready.
We should always unite.
Rejoicing in all sufferings, for God is almighty. So don't give up, never give in. Pray in silence and place your trust in Him. Wait for His response to your plea. Faithfully obey